Trustees. It's Tuesday, May the 9th at 6 p.m., and we are here at the district office. I call the meeting to order, and at this time, 1.2 Pledge of Allegiance, led by Yates Taylor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Yates. And we will have our prayer led by Isabella Velasquez.
Dear God, thank you for this day and everyone here tonight. We pray that you'll be with all of our board members as they are making very tough decisions. Please be with our staff and students as we finish out the remainder of our school year. Please watch over please watch over everybody who is here today as they leave. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Yates and Isabella. We will move on to item 1.4, approval of the agenda. Board members, you had your agenda in the packet. Without objection, we will approve the agenda as presented. Agenda is approved. Item 1.5, we have approval of minutes from April 18th, 2023 regular board meeting and the April 17th, 2023 board work session. Without objection, we will approve those as presented. Both those minutes are approved. Item 2.0, consent items. 2.1, our financial report with Ms. Roden.
Good evening. You received your cash balance analysis and revenue and income statements in your packets, and I'm sure you've had a chance to review them. To point out, in the month of April, I want to point out that we got the last 10% of the Tier 1 taxes and the homestead. We typically get these in April. And I want to point out also that all the Title I down through Easter 3 is all federal money. At the end of each quarter, I claim the money and we receive it usually in that same month. You may see a little bit trickle in next month from some later claims, but this is the majority of our federal third quarter claims. Do you have any specific questions about the statements you received in your packets? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Roden. Item 2.2, our superintendent's report with Dr. Ashley Atkinson.
Thank you. Recently, our primary school was chosen to participate in a research project called the Canopy Project. They were nominated by Knowledge Works, which works with us on our personalized learning efforts. Primary school was one of only 2 schools in South Carolina to be selected. This is a collective research project to showcase how schools are innovating in the classroom and in their schools. We were also only one of 251 schools nationwide that was selected to participate and showcase the things that we're doing at the primary school. If you go back to December 2022, you may remember Ms. Rye presenting to you a waiver request so that we could submit a competency-based education application, and that was approved at the state school board meeting on April the 11th. We were only one of 2 schools that were granted such a flexibility waiver, and again, this allows us some flexibility to implement competency-based educational practices and additional academic initiatives. This is really important as we transition to a modified school calendar. It allows us to have more flexibility, for example, to be able to weave our summer reading camp into our enrichment sessions. So it allows a lot more flexibility for instruction. Our district hosted the Special Olympics on May the 5th. It was a huge success, starting with the big send-off from each of our schools with our students and our band playing as our students disembarked from the school bus. If you were able to attend, you left energized and reminded of why we do what we do. It was just an uplifting day. I just want to thank Angie Michaud, Ginger Harmon, Kim Morrell, and our special education teachers, our PE teachers, for being able to plan and carry out such a wonderful day. And also, we didn't have to dismiss early for potential tornadoes, as we did the year prior, if you remember that. The community drop-in and art show at the high school was a huge success. We estimate we had about 250 visitors that went through and looked at art and also toured the new facilities. And just too many people to thank there, but I just want to do a shout out to, to Ms. Bryant and the maintenance staff, Robbie, Lee Part, our custodial staff, Mackenzie and Angie and all, for just making sure that, our floors were sparkling as the day they were put in, and we had the refreshments for everyone, and it was just a grand time, and just lots of positive comments from all those who attended. Recently, we were also notified that our high school band and our middle school band were awarded what's called a Outstanding Performance Award for 2022-23. The Outstanding Performance Award is the most prestigious award that the South Carolina Band Directors Association awards on a yearly basis. This award is based on the high school and middle school's high-level performance at marching band competitions, all-state, all-region band competitions, concert performance, assessment, solo, and ensemble. The points that they earn on all this qualified our middle school and high school to be able to both be recognized for this award. So congratulations to our band. As you see, we have a wonderful feeder program coming from the middle school to continue the success of our high school band. Every year, obviously we do multiple audits, but we have one that's done specifically for federal funds and federal programs that we receive federal funds to operate. This is called a federal risk assessment for the federal programs, and so and this goes back, it's always a year delayed. So we recently received our rating for 21-22, and we received I won't say the highest rating because it's kind of counterproductive. We received the best possible rating, which is a low risk rating. So the best you can receive is a low rating or low risk. We received a score of 12, and which is 6 levels below the threshold to be a low risk. So not only did we receive low risk, it was very, very, very good that we have. I don't know if you can actually get a 0, but again, I want to thank Angela Roden, who implements what we call internal controls so that we're able to continue to have such a great rating. This rating is based on several criteria. For example, the required reporting, turnover of key personnel, compliance, physical compliance, performance, if you have to have a lot of technical assistance to get the job done, which we do not, timeliness of annual financial audits, and some other things that people don't think about that's also included in this, and that is being accredited, if you have test security violations, other violations for state programs, and you're making sure that you have the correct and very good audits from the State Department of Education. So again, congratulations for everyone that manages or oversees all of our federal programs. Recently, our food, well, let me back up. If you look at in the state paper every week, you will see that DHEC releases a list of the worst restaurants to eat in the Midlands with the lowest rating. I just want to point out that all of our cafeterias recently received an A+ rating for food safety for the DHEC inspection. In fact, they received a perfect 100 points out of 100. So we have the safest places to eat in the community. Our ROTC cadets recently attended the JROTC Day at the State House. That was on April 27th. The Senate and the House recognized cadets and battalion commanders, and also they were able to spend the whole day at the State House. Lakin Brock is our cadet battalion commander. She was able to get to meet Governor McMaster, who addressed the cadets. Senator Katrina Shealy and Senator Rex Rice also recognized the battalion commanders on the Senate floor. So we're proud of our ROTC unit that they were able to participate. As I conclude, I do have some sad news I want to share with everyone. Jerry Kuhn, who has given a life of service to our community and to our school district, passed away this afternoon. As you know, he was a long-time member of the school board. Prior to that, he'd long served as the principal of our primary school. So, as you all know, that is the brother of Ms. Frances Balknight, who cannot be with us tonight. So if you would, please keep Ms. Balknight and the family in the prayers at the passing of Mr. Kuhn.
All right, thank you. All right, we will move on to item 3.1, recognition. Ms. Kim Hendricks named the South Carolina School Nurse Administrator of the Year, and Mackenzie Taylor.
Good evening, Madam Chair and fellow Board of Trustees members. I'm going to peek around these beautiful flowers here. It's my honor and privilege this evening to bring up Ms. Kim Hendricks as we recognize her for recently being named South Carolina's School Nurse Administrator of the Year. So, Nurse Hendricks, if you want to come up. Kim was surprised with this news on April the 26th during Batesburg-Leesville Middle School's School to Watch redesignation ceremony, and we are, of course, so very proud of her for receiving this award. The award is officially called the D.D. Tuning School Nurse Administrator Award, and it's presented annually by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control and the South Carolina Department of Education. The goal of the award is to publicly recognize a registered nurse who is functioning in a school nurse supervisor role who excels at administering and coordinating quality school nursing and school health programs, and that's certainly a good description for Nurse Hendricks. Here in Lexington 3, Nurse Hendricks oversees all of the district's health programs and operations, including maintaining records and other government requirements, working with families of children who are having health problems, and assisting in the development of employee wellness programs. Prior to her role as the lead district nurse, Nurse Hendricks served students at Batesburg-Leesville Middle School for 9 years as the school nurse. She has also coached students as part of the Girls on the Run program and has served as a coach for the district's cross-country team for 5 seasons. She also works every day with students in our after-school program at Batesburg-Leesville Elementary School. So thank you, Nurse Hendricks, for your service here to our district, and congratulations on your tremendous accomplishment. We have these for you too.
So they are beautiful. You'd probably rather look at them than my face tonight. So Ms. Clark surprised me and shared their celebration at the middle school a few weeks ago when they were redesignated as a school to watch. And I was really caught off guard and speechless. So pardon me, but I did write a thank you for you all. So I'm just gonna calm down and read it now. First, thank you for inviting me tonight to be recognized in this position as the South Carolina School Nurse Administrator of the Year, because it really allows me to come here in front of you all and thank each one of you and all of y'all for entrusting me with caring for our nurses as they oversee their nursing duties in the schools. It's very evident that you all place a very high value on the students and staff in our district with their wellness and their health by believing that a school nurse is valuable in every school. So I will recommit every year to coming energized and doing what these nurses need in order to continue to provide that service to our community. So thank you again, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Hendricks, and again, congratulations, a well-deserved honor.
Thank you.
Item 4.0, public participation. Do we have any cards? No cards, and we will move on to item 5.0, our action items. 5.1 is the first reading approval of our proposed 2023-2024 budget with Ms. Roden.
Good evening again. I'm going to go quicker this time, but I'm going to do first reading. We had our public hearing earlier, and a lot of our people were here, so I will go through it again. We had 2 work sessions, one on March 20th and one on April 17th of 2023, where we hammered out all these details. So the board's been through this several times, and so they've seen it. 35-day has dropped 11 students from 2013-14 to 2022. The biggest drop we've had was over the COVID break. We dropped this past year 69 students, which did decrease our funding based on the new funding formula, but hopefully we'll bring those kids back up in the next couple of years. We do know some of them went to homeschooling, 38 I think. Our revenues are made up are 3 types that fund the district: federal, state, and local. General fund is state and local only, and the board votes on the general fund. The local funds are Lexington and Saluda County taxes, some state revenue. The EFA, which was it used to be EFA, is now called State Aid to Classrooms. All those 15 were rolled into one, which is $9.1 million. And the EIA funds, several of those have rolled up, and they are state aid to classrooms that we transfer into the general fund for our regular expenditures. We do anticipate using $1.8 million happen. This is the detail required by the state, the way we book our revenue account codes. And then this is the breakdown of what we're actually adding to the budget. Last year's budget was $26.5 million. We will be adding $1.6 million. By doing so, we'll be adding $2,500 per sale to the teacher salary schedule. So the teachers will get their step, and plus it includes $2,500. All hourly employees, if they're eligible, will receive one step, and our salary schedules for classified are adjusted by 4%. The administrative positions were increased 2%, but we developed 15-step schedules, so when someone comes into the district on an administrative level, they'll know what's going to happen for next year. Should it be frozen, they'll at least get a step if they're eligible. And EIA and ESER positions, we had to roll some of those into the general fund. We are adding an ESOL position, an alternative education position. We have to do some after-school match because some of the EIA funds that we were previously funding are rolled up. A big thing is increasing substitute pay. We're becoming more competitive with surrounding districts. $80 for classified and $100 for certified, and adding some athletic stipends. With the salary increases, health and retirement and FICA are going to increase. And we are deleting $104,000 by combining some administrative positions and distributing some duties. The total increase to the general fund budget is $1.4 million, which brings us to $28,080,869. My next slide is the function category, which shows how we spend these dollars. The 100 series is face-to-face instruction. The 200 because they don't have enough federal and state money allocated to them. This is the true breakdown of our budget. 86.5% of the budget is people, salaries, and fringes. We're here to serve students. We have purchase services, which is phone, water. The supplies and materials are consumables, and also energy. The power bills go in there. And capital outlay is anything $5,000 that we would capitalize and depreciate. And other objects is anything that doesn't fit into one of those categories. And then there you see our $100,000 again that we transfer to adult ed. The options to do this, you can do a tax increase, but tonight we're recommending that we use our current general fund balance of $1.8 million to balance the budget. Act 388 will allow us to go back 3 prior years and recapture any millage that we left on the table. If we do not do that, the bottom will fall off. We can't go back and recapture those mills. At this point, we could raise millage 43.9% should the board choose to do so. And this is what administration is recommending as first reading.
Any questions, board members? Thank you, Ms. Roden. All right, at this time on 5.1, I will ask for any motions.
Let me do this again.
You can try again, and we'll let you go this way.
I'd like to make a motion that we give first reading approval to the proposed 23-24 budget as recommended by our administration.
All right, we have a motion to accept first reading approval of the proposed 2023-2024 budget as presented by the administration. Do I have a second? Second by Dr. Gunner. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Item 6.0, executive session.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we enter executive session for discussion of personnel matters.
Have a motion from Dr. Gunner to enter into executive session for discussion of personnel matters. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Carey. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. We are now in executive session.